Hello everybody, welcome back to Reading with Grandma. And before we start today's adventure, which is going to be a story about Mickey Mouse and Pluto, we're going to answer the questions from last week's story. It was Born to be Wild. It was all about the bears. And in the first question I asked everybody, it was how many bears were in the picture. And if you guessed 21, you were right. The second one, how much did the bear weigh? And even though he's never been weighed, because you cannot weigh a wild animal, you can't bring your bathroom scales out into the wild and expect the bear to stand on them, he was estimated to weigh 1,000 pounds. That's huge. And the last question is, why was the little brown bear, baby bear, sitting on the rock? He looked so scared and worried, and he was frightened by the thousands of salmon in the river churning the water's surface. So let's see in the comments if anybody got those right. So today's adventure is Mickey's Tattered Tale. Winter was over and Mickey Mouse was doing some spring cleaning. With Pluto beside them, he had washed the windows, scrubbed the floors, and dusted his house from bedpost to banister. When he finished the inside, he turned to the outside, spraying a new coat of yellow paint on the fence. There, that should just about do it. Okay, Pluto, let's call it quits. Pluto, where are you, old boy? Yawning, Pluto stepped out from behind the freshly painted fence. He was covered with stripes of yellow paint. Mickey shook his head, smiling. Gosh, Pluto, I guess you picked the wrong place to take a nap. Just then a familiar voice rang out. Yoo-hoo, Mickey! It was Minnie Mouse on her way home from a morning of shopping. Mickey laughed. Oh, hi, Minnie. I was just doing some spring cleaning with my pet zebra, Pluto. When Mickey explained what had happened, Minnie smiled. Now there's one more thing to clean. Pluto. She giggled and started up the sidewalk. Well, I guess I'd better be getting home. See you tonight, Mickey. Tonight? Mickey Mouse, you forgot your keys, your wallet, and now our date. It's at the ballroom, remember? You'll have to wear special clothes. I'll see you there at 6, and don't forget the tickets. After Minnie left, Mickey washed the stripes off of Pluto, and the two of them went inside. Gee, Pluto, Minnie said to wear something special, but my nice suit is at the cleaner's. Hey, I've got it. I'll buy a tuxedo. Mickey hurried to the clothing stores where he tried on a fancy black tuxedo and top hat. He admired himself in the mirror. When Minnie sees this, she'll forget she was ever mad at me. That evening, Mickey put on his tuxedo and headed for the door. When he turned around, he noticed Pluto marching along behind him. Sorry, Pluto, but you can't go to the ball. You stay home, and I'll see you later tonight. He petted his long-eared friend and then pulled the door shut behind him. As Pluto stared sadly at the door, he noticed a flash of color at the table. It was the tickets. He barked, but Mickey was already gone. Pluto tried the open door, but the knob wouldn't turn. Desperate, he looked around and saw an open window high up on one wall. Clutching the tickets between his teeth, Pluto climbed up a bookcase, balanced on a lamp, and lunged for the window. Somehow he slithered through. With a yelp of delight, he jumped to the grass below, then picked up Mickey's cent and headed straight off down the street. Meanwhile, Mickey was on his way to catch his bus when he passed a flower shop. He went inside and was greeted by a florist, a Frenchman with a mustache. Ah, yes, my friend, how may I help you? I was looking for some roses. Do you have any? Roses? Monsieur, look at these. 1 dozen of the most beautiful red roses you will ever see. Gosh, they are swell. I'll take them. After Mickey paid for the roses, the florist took his arm and guided him toward the back room. And now, monsieur, I will show you my hobby. Prepare yourself for a magnificent sight. He threw open the door, revealing a room full of animals. But these weren't real animals. They were all made of flowers. There were birds and leopards and zebras and giraffes. You see, my friend, flower sculptures. I work hard on these, and someday I hope to fulfill my life's dream, to decorate a float for the Rose Parade. Mickey reached for another door. What's in here? My other hobby. But please, monsieur, do not open the door. It was too late. Through the opening doors poured hundreds and hundreds of angry bees. The florist sprinted for the exit. Follow me, monsieur. When the bees buzzing close behind, Mickey took off across the room. He knocked over a walrus, hurdled a hippo, and went skidding past a penguin and through the exit. But before the bees could escape, the florist slammed the exit door. Mickey looked down at himself. "My new tuxedo! It had holes in the knees and stains all over it. And gosh, sir, I'm afraid I ruined your flower sculptures, too. Here, let me pay for them." "Please think nothing of it. I will simply make new ones." Mickey glanced at the bouquet of roses. "Minnie won't be too impressed with my tuxedo, but at least these roses still look nice." He thanked the florist and hurried off to catch his bus. A little while later, Pluto came racing up to the flower shop, sniffing the ground furiously. The florist's eyes lit up. "But of course, that's it!" He grabbed Pluto and pulled him into the shop. "A living sculpture! Monsieur Pooch, you will be my greatest creation." Inside, the florist glued gardenias to Pluto's back and carnations to his tail. When he pasted petunias to his collar, the dog's nose began to twitch. Chew! The force of the sneeze sent Pluto flying out of the man's grasp. Seizing his chance, Pluto sprinted out the door. "Monsieur Pooch, come back! You are my masterpiece!" Gradually the cries died away as Pluto raced down the sidewalk. Still clutching the tickets beneath his teeth, he stopped in a vacant lot and rolled in the grass to get rid of the flowers. Then he put his nose to the ground, took a few sniffs, and hurried off to find Mickey. 2 blocks down the street, Pluto spotted him. Mickey was just getting onto the city bus. Barking furiously, Pluto tried to catch up, but the bus was just pulling away. Running after it, Pluto gathered his strength and jumped. He landed on the back bumper and hung on for dear life. Inside the bus, Mickey was trying to strike up conversation with the woman sitting next to him. "And then the bees chased me, and wouldn't you know it, I messed up my brand new tuxedo. You see, I have a big date tonight." "You want me to go on a date tonight? I should say not." "No, ma'am, my date's with Minnie Mouse." "Come to my house, young man, I'm warning you." Mickey tried to explain. "But, ma'am, you misunderstood." "A kiss for my own good? That does it." The woman brought down her handbag on Mickey's head, crumpling his hat. She chased him down the aisle, swinging her purse like a roper in the Wild West show. "But, ma'am, please." Just then the bus came to a stop, and Mickey dove for the steps. As he tumbled out into the street, the doors clattered shut on his bouquet of roses. "Driver, wait, please." It was no use. As the bus pulled away, Mickey grabbed the flowers with one hand and a lamppost with the other. There was a cloud of exhaust, and when it cleared, Mickey found himself seated on the ground, clutching one wilted rose. From his position on the bumper, Pluto looked back and saw Mickey. Whimpering in relief, he hopped off and bounded toward his master. Just as Mickey was struggling to his feet, Pluto barreled into him, sending them both sprawling into a mud puddle. Mickey looked at his dog in amazement. "Pluto, how did you get here? I thought I told you—" Then he saw what Pluto was carrying in his mouth. "Oh, the tickets! Gosh, I must have forgotten them at home. Good boy, Pluto. What a smart dog." Mud and all, Mickey leaned over and hugged his faithful friend. Then he put the tickets in his pocket, got to his feet, and looked around. "Well, Pluto, we're only a few blocks from the ballroom, and it's almost 6 o'clock. There's not enough time to take you home. I guess you'd better come with me to meet Minnie." They trudged off toward the ballroom. A moment later, they saw Minnie waiting in front. She was wearing a long silk dress and a golden crown. Mickey straightened his collar, took a deep breath, and marched up to her. "Hi, Minnie. About my outfit, I can explain. You see—" "Your outfit? Why, Mickey, it's wonderful." "It is?" Mickey looked down at his mud-stained tuxedo. Mickey beamed. "Of course, this is a costume ball, and you're dressed as a hobo. And what a clever idea to bring Pluto as the hobo's dog." Mickey grinned sheepishly. "I guess it was kind of a nice touch." As they started inside, Mickey turned to him. "Mickey, you did remember our tickets, didn't you?" Mickey pulled the tickets from his pocket. He looked down at Pluto and winked. Then he took Mickey's arm. "Of course, Minnie. Why, we went out of our way to make sure they didn't get lost. Didn't we, Pluto?" And that's the end of today's adventure, Mickey's Tattered Tale. I hope you enjoyed today's story. Leave me a comment below on what you thought of it, and if you got the answers right in your Born to be Wild book, and we'll